Motion to accept and place on file?
Motion to accept and place on file. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Mr. Painter, would you like to dive in on your reports?
Yep, sure. All right. Balance of the operating account, 2505, is $283,540, and that reflects a number of encumbrments we've got on there. Expenses for August 2023, including salaries and facility operations, totaled $33,860. We had, excuse me, 4,765 cable casts from June to August, and out of this, 106 were live events. This broke down to Public 9630, Education 9935, and Government 41. On the playbacks, breaks down to Public 96 was 2970, Education 886, and Government 16803. We've been testing different cameras over the summer to replace the cameras in our studio. We found that the camera that we thought would work best are actually not sensitive enough to work with our green screen system setup. We continue our search for the cameras we have as they're old, but they're working properly, so we do have the luxury of time to shop around. The Public Works. Oops, sorry, I forgot this two-sided. Everything's now set for the Key Code Media to come into the DPW conference room the week of September 18th and install all necessary equipment to properly cover live meetings at the location. If all goes well, we should be covering the next Board of Public Works meeting with 3 cameras, wireless audio, and graphics. That would be, I think it's that Thursday of that week, so it's kind of tight that way, but hopefully we're all set and it'll go live from there. The automatic chamber mixer. Almost 2 years ago, we ordered a new mixer for the chamber from the Shure Audio Company. Because of severe supply chain issues with their product, we're still using the loaner mixer installed at the time by Key Code Media. Recently, we've started experiencing trouble with the loaner. We started getting phantom noises in here, and it really was disrupting to the meetings. Pete and I went back in the back, and we kind of shielded some of the wires that were exposed, and it solved that problem, but it's not a solution for the ultimate solution in here. So anyway, all right, and so we've canceled the Shure order, and then what we're going to do is install a Yamaha mixer equivalent to the ones we use in the auditorium and at North High. Since we have had an approved open PO, we'll use that to purchase the new system, the equipment, so we don't have any requests for that here. We've already done that in a past meeting. We have been working hard to improve both the quality and quantity and quality of our remote sports broadcast by adding additional cameras, angles, and enhanced graphics. As part of the process, we still need a solution to provide audio communications between the producer, director, commentators, and camera operators. These people are often in different locations, including the studio, but still need the ability to talk with one another. We have been researching potential solutions, including a network intercom solution using Dante Audio that would provide point-to-point audio communications through the city network. We hope to provide further details and the potential costs either during this meeting or at our December 2023 meeting. The ACM Northeast, the Alliance for Community Media Northeast, will be holding its annual conference in Burlington, Vermont in November. Although we had approval to attend the national conference in Brooklyn last June, we were unable to attend. None of the budgeted funds was spent. We'd like to instead attend the regional conference with our New England PEG television peers, November 15th through the 17th, and request your approval to do so. This will be for admission, hotel, meals, and travel in an amount not to exceed $1,600. And this will come from our conference and seminars account, 22-2505-55400. All right, Pete?
All right, we'll take a look at what we've done on the education channel. I believe it's second page, the report there. So in June, we're gonna go back the 3 months. We did a lot of the sports for the end of the school year, including Pinkerton at Nashua South Girls Lacrosse. We did the girls lacrosse semifinals, which were held at Exeter High School between Bishop Girton and South. We also did graduations. Both the North and South graduations were done live on the channels and also streamed out. So we got a lot of good comments back on the coverage we had for those. We recorded 2 New Hampshire Girls Hockey Invitational games that were held at Tri-Town Arena, and we've done those now for, this is the fourth or 5th year, so it's become a nice little summer tournament for them. Did live coverage of a Worcester at Nashua FCBL game from Holman Stadium. And also we went to the Historical Society and did a program entitled From Fashion to Fantasy. And we were back at Holman on the 29th for a game against Norwich. In July, mostly the FCBL games that we do there, we the last few years have done each of the, I believe there are 7 teams in the league, so each of those teams as they come into Nashville, we try to do 1 game for each of those. We did also the summer school graduation, which was held at Nashville High School North. August, probably our quietest month of the year typically. Did a couple of Public Health Matters shows. The previous host, Jane, left the city employment and moved to a different job. So Bobby Bagley has taken over that show, and she's recorded, I believe, 3 episodes now. So, and she'll be continuing those as we go forward. We were at Elm Street Middle School for calling it the first day of school, excuse me, at Elm Street, since next year at this time they'll be starting school at their new McCarthy Middle School down in the southwest portion of the city. So, and we'll be there next year as well to capture that first day of school for the new middle schoolers there. So, and we did a special summer edition of Eye on Education show with Superintendent Andrade and the BOE president, just talking about what parents and students can expect for the upcoming school year. So I think that was it for those. We did decide to, we've been working hard at improving the quality of what the customer sees on the air. We've been doing more sporting events on our side, and with the addition of Dan Young as a creative team member, we've really been able to prove our on-air look with new graphics and such, and we rarely bring anything here to show you. So today we're gonna show you a little bit of what he's been doing for some of the sporting events, and then we'll move on from there to a couple of other projects he's had a hand in recently. So, you ready, Dan?
I am ready. Dan Young, Nashua Community Television. Excuse me, as Pete mentioned, we've done a lot to upgrade our graphics and our presentation to the person viewing it. And I just wanted to show you a couple of things this morning. The baseball that we see here focuses mostly on the Silver Knights because that's about when we were able to really kind of start bringing it in, but we'll be able to start bringing this into kind of some of the high school baseball games. This, for instance, this is part of the logos. We can see that it switches between the different teams. We're going to see a couple of little cuts in here, but it's all built in 3D. So very quickly, we can change the logos to something like the 4th of July game that we covered as well. And for some reason, I looped this because I thought that I would need more time to talk about it, but I don't. So there, that's how that goes. So along with that 4th of July game, or just after the 4th of July game, we also covered the return of Monkey Boy, which was a big to-do for the crowd. And with the other thing that we were able to start bringing in, and we're going to start seeing a lot of new camera angles within some of this footage. We've got a camera on first base. We've got our traditional camera here. We've got a camera down at third base that we're going to see in just a moment. Here's the center field camera. And the center field camera is being connected back wirelessly. The first base camera, which we just saw, is also wireless. That third base camera is coming over a network cable. So we're able to kind of start placing cameras where we never thought that we could get them placed before. We've got an additional wireless on the announcers, and we can start getting these camera angles that we were never able to really get before, and make it feel like we're that much larger of a production. As we went through, we saw the new score bug that's going on, and we're able to produce some new graphics with the help of the FCBL, such as these as well. We have a new to us ScoreLink Plus device that feeds the scores directly, right? It feeds the score into the score bug, but it does so over the network, over the web. And that allows us to do much more with it as well. Football season just started, and some of those things that it can do allow for, like in the baseball, the little lights to come on when it's, first 1 ball, 2 balls, etc. Our first football game was last weekend, and this is the extremely long feeling opening while I'm trying to speak about it. Sounds better with music here. And we're also getting a little preview of something else right there. But as we can see here, our sports bug can include the timeouts, 3rd and 12, for instance. When there's a touchdown, a little touchdown graphic's going to pop up in just a moment, but that's also our replay. And the replay is being handled remotely as well. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, because this is just about to wind out. We can see there the touchdown graphic in that lower corner just kind of automatically came up. And again, we're now doing multiple cameras so that we can get other views and other angles of the cheerleaders. And I think we have the band coming up in just a moment, and the final of the game. And there's the band there. I'm just gonna pause that. So at the baseball game, we brought the studio to the game. We have a couple of mini TriCasters. We brought that there. We wired everything into that TriCaster. We produced the show right there. And whether those cameras came in wirelessly or over a network cable, still was local to home and stadium. For this football game, we were producing the show back at the studio. All of the cameras that you saw there were coming in, were all over at Stello's, but all coming in over the network in one way, shape, or form. So it allows us faster setup, more camera angles, and an easier time with the crew. And we hope that by baseball season, we'll have this kind of like really set to go, that we can be producing the baseball games back at the studio, and producing even bigger, better graphics and stuff, and producing a product that looks much more like what you'd see on network TV. And that's always the goal, for me at least. So there's a football game tonight. I invite you all to come by the studio if you wish to come see what we're doing there. Or if you want to go to the football game then itself, you can swing by the press booth and see what they're doing on that side as well.
Add one thing in there.
Sure.
Oops. One thing we've been doing a little bit more of this year, as well, is working with our NHCCM, which is the New Hampshire Coalition for Community Media. There are other stations like ours in the state. There are a number of them now doing local sports, and since the pandemic, more of them are streaming those live on their channels. So we're able to take those feeds in. So, for example, last weekend, we had a game here at Stello Stadium, but at the same time, Bishop Girton was playing at Bedford, and Nashua South was at Goffstown. And both of those communities did their games live. So we were able to utilize our 3 channels on Comcast. We had the local game on the education channel, as we always do. But we were able to take the Bishop Girton game and put that on the Nashville Public Television Channel 6. And we used the government channel. There were no meetings on Friday nights. We've done it in the past, so we utilized that channel to show the Nashua South game live. So we actually had 3 live telecasts of all 3 local teams going last Friday. Tonight, Nashua North is playing at Exeter. Exeter also does their games live through their school district's Blue Hawk Media outlet. We've gotten permission from them to show tonight's game, so that game will be live at 7 o'clock on the Nashua Public Television, NPTV, and we'll have the Nashua South game that's happening against Bedford at Stello Stadium. So people that want to watch, tune in tonight.
All right, thank you. Do you want to note for the record that Mr. Miserovich joined us? So,
We'll go on one more.
Oh.
We have a couple quick other
I've got
things.
Sorry, Dan Young, I've got one more, well, technically 2 more quick presentations, but we'll just go through this real quick. I had the pleasure of working with Chief Buxton and Deputy Chief Kirk, along with plenty of the others at the fire department. And these are just a couple of the clips out of the a little recruiting piece that we helped them produce. There's a lot of footage also provided by National Public Television, as well as several of the others that just really we all came together and were able to make this little piece happen.
Construction that exists in the world today, the fires burn hotter, fire behavior is much more volatile, so their skills on the fire ground need to be as sharp, if not sharper. Day in and day out for 40 hours a week as they go through this recruit school, their physical conditioning is challenged to a high degree. And that's for 2 reasons. One, it's to remind the recruits that this is a very physical job. The firefighting profession is based in physical activity. We can't replace what we do with machines to any large degree. Also, it's to foster a lifelong interest in being physically fit, and so that you'll have a long career and be a happy retiree. Reach out to me at firecareers@nashuanh.gov.
And this should be going public pretty soon. I would hope. I'm still waiting for the final approval on those extra clips and such that we added into it on that last round. So I hope that they're very happy with it. I could see the smile on your face that made me feel like I did something right at least. And last but not least, Comcast, as you all know, changed our channels. And we talked about this at the last meeting about a possible or a potential rebranding. I would think that would open right up. And and I mentioned earlier that I was Dan Young from Nashua Community Television. We would like to now be known as Nashua Community Media, since we seem to be going out and expanding our horizons to more than just television. It's very clear that Roku, Apple TV, YouTube are all things that the public wants. So while we will always be television focused, hence the logos GTV, ETV, we will be under the umbrella of Nashua Community Television. And And I thank everybody for their suggestions that they had, that emailed in and such like that. But this is where we ended up, and I hope that everybody likes them, and we're gonna start utilizing them in various places and such, and go from there. I got nothing else. So, boom, done. Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, now, BRB TV.
Thank you, Bob Bartis. For the period representing June 1st through August 31st, 2023 is the period covered in our report. We were formerly the channel known as 96. We are now Channel 6. Our new logos have been put up and distributed accordingly. During that time frame of June 1st to August 31st, we have run over 3,100 shows. Of the 3,100 shows that were run, 335 were first run shows, meaning the first time they aired was during that particular quarter. 28 live events occurred, and through the live events that could be regular and reoccurring shows, which include having Mayor Jim Donchis, weekly on air County Treasurer David Fredette, AMR Director Chris Staywas, live monthly reports from Nashua Fire Chief Steve Buxton, and representatives from the Nashua Police Department. Live broadcasts have also include Morning Zen, Nashua Choral Society concerts, jazz trio concerts, back to school night at the Nashua Public Library. The shows continue to run on a variety of topics which you would expect on public television, from health and wellness to political, local, state, and national, education, dyslexia, addiction with vaping or video games have been some of the topics. We've had yoga and dance, music and choral shows, environment, nature, some planetary and space shows as well, Special Olympics, password games, and the like. I accompanied Dan Young and Pete Johnson, along with CTAB Representative Roni Camille, for a networking lunch and learn over at Derry Public Television. We also had a networking event at Holman Stadium in coalition with the Nashua Silver Knights baseball game. We already have RSVP'd to attend the quarterly meeting with Pete and Dan for September 21st, which will be held up at Bedford TV. So we're continuing to work through the New Hampshire Coalition for Community Media and using the other agencies as networking and lunch and learns, if you will. The Roku channel continues to be updated weekly with new taped shows, and we continue to run billboards on both Nashua Public Television and through the website at WSMN.live, promoting Nashua Public Television, the ability to sign out equipment for free to go home and tape your stuff and bring it back in, and that also that the use of the Roku channel is free and available to see Nashua Public Television. Just a moment. I think that covers my report.
All right. Are there any questions?
Just make one quick statement there. As far as the numbers that you may see from his report and my report, they may be slightly different depending on when they were pulled out of the machine. So they're all close, but the exact numbers, may not jive between his report and mine, so, or ours.
It's within a couple of shows.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Morgan.
Cole Morgan, what are we doing to advertise the change of channel numbers from 96 to 6 to the public?
Well, we run banners on the BRB TV website and on the billboards in between shows. That we have a scrolling banner in red, our channels change to channel 6, and then with the billboards in between the shows. And then I use the radio as well to do it.
Was that done before it changed? Because if it's done after it's changed, it might not be as useful.
The change occurred on August 8th.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Mr.
also
Painter.
on the website, we have everything on there, and we had it on there leading up to it, that we're changing, and it's still there. I mean, it explains.
And Mr. Johnson, I think.
Cole, So about a week beforehand, we put a crawl up on all three of our channels listing that Comcast was going to be moving them. So if anybody watched, at least during that period, our regular viewers, they would have seen that prior to the change. And I know on my channel, I put up something afterwards that you've reached, channel 22. It's no longer, I think it was WLVI out of Boston or one of those. So if you're looking for that channel, I also redirected them to whatever channel it's on now, so.
Plus, we had it scrolling on our bulletin board.
Thank you.
Other questions? Actually, I have one, relates to the coverage of the mayoral debate that was recently rebroadcast. I had a number of people complained primarily about the audio, but production values in general. I understand from Mr. Painter this morning that you've been doing some editing to smooth out some of the transitions between speakers, but I was wondering if you could address your efforts there so that people know what's happening.
Yeah, it was a tough venue to film due to not having a proper audio setup, and got called in at the last minute because it wasn't an easy event to get into. And they weren't, it was in a gymnasium. If I had placed the cameras where I wanted them, I would have been involved. They were not planning on doing this on TV. They wanted it for a paid audience, for the chamber, so I know the people that are running it, and I said, well, why not put this on TV? I can do it live, and I can record it and edit it the best of my ability. It was a disaster audio-wise, I can tell you that. I'm not happy with it at all. The live was better actually than the recording, but the next one will be much better because I told them I'll take care of all the audio for them for their event. So I'm aware of it, and it'll be rectified on the next one, I can tell you. Overwhelming response, by the way, to answer one more on that, Cole. I got a lot of emails from people asking what channel we were on. Much more than I ever had before, so people are watching it. So I responded that way as well. And the response on this primary mayoral debate was more than I expected as well. You're not the only one, I'm well aware of it. And I can only apologize because my name's still on it. And I'm disappointed with it, but it will get better the next one. I can tell you that right now.
All right, thank you. Mr. Morgan.
And where is the debate posted? I actually was trying to find it.
It's right on the
That's-
front page of BRB TV.
Okay.
Front page. It's probably playing 4 times a day right now, and we'll play till the primary on Tuesday. But to make it easier for everybody that's contacted me, when you go to brbtv.live, the video is right there. You don't have to just click right on it. It's ready to go. But it's a tough listen.
And just for my own notification, will that be posted on the Roku or Apple TV apps, or is that
Yeah,
gonna be separate?
you can put it up today. It'll be on Roku.
Okay.
Yep. I wish it was better. I'm very disappointed. Sorry. I don't do bad work, but that one's not good.
All right, thank you. All right, next agenda item is old business. Mr. Painter, I think you might have addressed both of these in your report, the studio camera replacement update and the DPW conference room AV build updates.
Yeah.
Is there anything in addition to that?
The only thing that would be that we were requesting for the approval of the not to exceed amount for
Okay.
the ACM regional.
All right, is there a motion then?
Can I add something?
Yes.
I just wanted to give my numbers because I'm proud of them for our viewers, which I can definitely check out via the website for the cameras that I put up throughout the city. Just to look at stuff, especially the Performing Arts Center and a river. So from June 5th till September 1st, that Arts Center cam's been viewed 7,600 times. And 3,500 were unique visitors. I find that remarkable, to look at nothing. And the river has 7,706 views, which means it was visited, it was clicked, it was looked at. Some of them for 8 seconds, some of them for 20, but they are watching it. And with the chief of the fire department and the police department, the mayor, AMR, the local shows that I do on live, 6,739 views. in Nashua. Just impressive, really it is. They're not going down, they're going up. So just proud of that one, to make up for the poor audio on the last debate.
All right. So returning to the old business, the studio camera replacement update and the DPW conference AV build update.
I'm sorry?
On old business on the agenda.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Well,
studio
you
camera
don't have it
replacement.
ready for today, right? The request.
There's nothing, no request ready for today, but I think you mentioned it all
Oh,
in
I'm
your
sorry.
report. I don't know that there's.
Right,
anything
was there,
different.
you had said that there was a not to exceed request.
Oh, right, we were gonna take a vote, weren't we? That was for,
That's-
ACM
Yeah,
New
that's-
England and Burlington.
Yeah, oh, that's what, I'm sorry,
Which is
that's what I was
probably new
talking
business,
about.
so.
I
Mr.
don't
Chair,
actually have it on here.
I'll make a motion, Jen McCormick, Library Director, I'll make a motion to approve the expending not to exceed $1,600 for
Correct.
their attendance at the Alliance for Community Media Northeast Conference in Burlington, Vermont in November.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion. Any discussion of the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. All right, thank you. All right, and I think you also addressed the other new business items in your report as well.
I can
Correct
go
that.
over those a little bit.
Sure.
As I mentioned, we don't have any specific numbers to bring to you today, but we had discussed the additional work we're doing and having our production based out of the studio instead of on-site. And as part of that, it's been difficult talking with the talent that's at the stadium or the camera operators. So we're looking for a way to increase what they're called comms. So our open channels of communication between the people that are working at each location. So I've been working on that. It's been busy the last couple of weeks. But hopefully for our December meeting, we'll have some specifics on what we're looking for there. So, and Jeff mentioned what's happening with the chamber mixer here. We had already in place a PO to do that work. With the change in the equipment, there was a little bit of overage on that. I think it was $300 and some odd dollars. So
257.
I don't know that we need an actual
257, yeah.
vote to change that number, but it had already been approved by this board a couple of years ago, so.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions or comments with regard to that update? All right, if not, there are no members of the public present, so remarks by members. Does anyone want to? Mr. Morgan?
Just wanted to say that I think everyone's doing a great job at the studio. Really love to see bringing in the new audio comms, the technology you guys have mentioned is right in line with the best in the industry. And checking out some of the quality lately has been really, really fantastic. So just wanted to say, yeah, really, really great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, is there a final motion?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, see everyone next quarter.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.